It looks like I was right. A couple months ago, I made a video titled Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis would not be close, and that video has since become super viral and catapulted my channel. But not only that, most importantly, I was proven right about practically everything. This fight was not close. Tank was looking like he was a couple levels above Ryan with his superior fight IQ and skill, and he looked like he was in control of the fight throughout every single round. Ryan's over-reliance on his left hook was ultimately why he lost this fight, and I even bet my friend that Tank was going to finish Ryan in the 7th, and that's what we got. So without further ado, let's go into the fight. Now the first round went exactly as expected. Gervonta Davis practically threw nothing. He actually only landed 1 punch out of the 7 punches he attempted, and Ryan tried the jab and a couple left hooks. Nothing to note here other than Ryan should have been utilizing the jab more. I know a lot of those punches did not land, but it kept Gervonta Davis busy as he was trying to read him, and he could have been using it to set up his left hook instead of just throwing his left hook naked, quote unquote, and that's something we're going to be talking about in the rest of the video. Now obviously this takes us into the big second round, which was surprisingly an early start to the action and much earlier than I anticipated. Ryan turned up the action early, winging hooks, moving forward, and throwing punches and bunches trying to find his left hook especially. And kind of uncharacteristic to Tank, this is more of Mayweather's playbook, he went immediately for the clinch. Every time Ryan would start one of these exchanges and move forward and throw a bunch of punches, Gervonta Davis immediately clinched. And I think this was due to Tank not being acclimated to those punches quite yet. However, Tank would find the timing to Ryan's hook real quick and would find an opportunity to land his counter. Like I said in my How Ryan Garcia Beats Gervonta Davis video, he really relies on that big left hook, and in trying to land that left hook, he leaves himself wide open if he misses. He kind of throws his left hook and hooks in general with reckless abandonment, and he always tries to find that finish. So he may not be disciplined enough to keep Gervonta Davis at range, and he may overextend and leave himself wide open for a Gervonta Davis counter. And scarily enough, this is exactly what happened. But Gervonta Davis was easily able to roll under that left hook and find a left hook of his own, again capitalizing on the fact that Ryan does not keep that other hand up as he throws his left. But all credit to Ryan, he has a lot of heart and he has a solid chin. He was able to get back up and continue the fight. Though the next 3 rounds would not go in Ryan's favor. Gervonta Davis seemed to control these rounds pretty much the same way, and the key thing here is that he had the timing on Ryan's left hook as he either backed away from them or rolled under. Additionally, Gervonta Davis's left hand down the middle kept landing for him hard and bloodied Ryan's nose in the 4th. I honestly thought this was going to be the shot that knocked out Ryan. However, this was still a shot that Tank landed consistently. And on the side of Ryan, it was just tough to see Ryan continue his game plan without any adjustments. Like I said in this video, Ryan had to set up his left hook with something, a jab, a feint to the body, something, other than just trying to wing these left hooks without any setup. Now we get to the 6th round, which was Ryan's best round by far. Ryan finally found his confidence as he started to land a couple good right hands, which I'm surprised he didn't throw more of. Again, like I said in that video, I wish Ryan would have used his range by utilizing his straight punches, and I think this punch in particular was very effective because it was a punch that Gervonta Davis did not have an answer to quite yet. And this punch, along with the jab and high volume, would have kept the range and would have not let Gervonta Davis on the inside. And speaking of Gervonta Davis going into the inside, we go into the 7th round, the round everybody was waiting for. Like I've been saying before, unlike straight punches such as the jab and the straight right hand, punches that can capitalize on a fighter's reach advantage, hooks and especially lead hooks are susceptible to shorter fighters taking that opportunity and going on the inside. Gervonta Davis capitalized on this opportunity perfectly. He ducked under the left hook and he stayed on the inside. And again, this is where the experience and high IQ comes because he knows Ryan is going to throw that right hand. Right? He just missed with the left hook, so he's got to throw a right uppercut, a right hook, something, because Gervonta Davis is right there. As he waits, he's going to time his left hand. So in that little window of opportunity, as Ryan starts to throw his right hand, Gervonta Davis throws his left hand and gets him right on the liver. It was a perfect body shot that Ryan could not get up from, and it's funny because it took a while for even Tank to realize it landed really well, and you can see the reaction here. All in all, I thought this was a great fight. We saw a knockdown, a knockout. We saw the high level of Gervonta Davis, his high IQ and his high skill level, but all credit to Ryan Garcia for taking this fight and showing a lot of heart. And I cannot stress this enough. I feel like boxing fans and everybody should respect Ryan for taking this fight. It's so early in his career. I mean, he's only 24 years old. He's a big star, and he could have easily coasted through an undefeated record fighting guys that were not on his level. But instead, he decided to challenge himself, and not only that, but fight Gervonta Davis on Gervonta Davis's terms. It seems like he made a lot of compromises, one being the rehydration clause. And speaking of the clause, I wanted to quickly go over whether or not this had an effect on the fight. Now yes, the rehydration clause definitely had an effect on Ryan, considering he could not rehydrate to the weight that he typically weighs in at on fight night. However, from what we saw in this fight, especially with the difference in skill between the two fighters, I don't think any amount of weight that Ryan could have put on would have changed the outcome of the fight. Sure, if Ryan Garcia was able to gain more than 10 pounds in rehydration, maybe he could have came in a little more comfortable, a little more confident, but I think because of, again, the difference in skill, it would have just ended with Gervonta Davis winning again. Maybe not like a landslide here, but definitely still a win. Though I would still really be interested in a rematch without the rehydration clause and see what would happen. And so this brings us to the immediate future of Ryan. Who is next for Ryan Garcia to fight? Firstly, I want to say I hope people still want to see him fight as much as I do. Ryan's only 24 years old and has a huge career ahead of him, and I hope we can get rid of this weird thing in boxing where we can only watch undefeated fighters. But anyways, the person I think Ryan should fight next, call me crazy, is Rolly Romero. The two have sparred each other, with one of the infamous sparring sessions being on YouTube, and I think because of Rolly's antics and the history of the both of them, this fight would sell and be really fun. And I also think this would be a solid W to put Ryan back in the win column. And another thing I hope Ryan does is get rid of this Jeremy Clarkson guy in his corner. He may be very funny and knows a lot about cars, but I found it absolutely appalling that he came up with practically zero game plan other than move forward and rely on his left hook. I also found it insane that he did not have the ability to make that mid-fight adjustment and tell Ryan to utilize the straight punches more. So I hope Ryan can move on to a better camp, because this is definitely what cost him the fight and will cost him the rest of his career. And the next step for Tank is pretty obvious here, but I think Tank should fight the winner of the Lomachenko versus Devin Haney fight for all of the belts. Tank has definitely deserved to fight for the belts, and I think fans especially want him to fight Devin Haney the most. On the side of Devin Haney, you have a very slick and skilled boxer that definitely looks like he's on the same level as Tank. I think this would be a very high-level classic matchup of the boxer versus puncher, though in this case, like I said, the puncher is a very high-level and very high IQ guy in Tank. So I think this would be the fight to make for Tank in the near future. But anyways, what do you guys think? This was a shorter video than my typical videos because I just wanted to bring out my thoughts about the fight. Also, I wanted to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments below. And I also think, I forgot to add, but this is a very exciting time for us boxing fans, potentially because the lightweight division is making big moves. It was able to make this big fight, and I think both guys have a bright future ahead of them so long as the division stays active. But anyways, again, thanks for watching. Peace.